Chancellor Cantor, by authorization of the Board of Trustees, the University, and the College of Law faculties, I declare the opening convocation exercises for the Juris Doctor class of 2016 and the Master of Laws class of 2014 of the Syracuse University College of Law to be in session.
Welcome to everybody. It is tremendous to see the chapel filled with the members of the LLM class of 2014, the members of the JD class of 2016, and so many members of their families as well as friends. I'm Hannah Arterian, and I have the honor and the great good fortune to be the Dean of the College of Law. Let me introduce first and thank the Chancellor of the University, Nancy Cantor. I want to say just a brief word about Chancellor Cantor. From the day she arrived on this campus, she has been an unwavering supporter and understander of the importance of the study of law. And by the way, she's a very adept reader of the legal landscape. Some of us who've heard her talk about that definitely think she missed her calling. Law school would have suited her very well. I also want to recognize members of the University Board of Trustees. Two of them are sitting up here. Wait a minute, where are they? Oh, they're over here. Melanie Gray and Bob Deneen. And I want to thank two members of our College of Law Board of Advisors who are here, and other alums of our college who have returned to help our JD and LLM students begin their study. Before I recognize the faculty and staff of the college, I note that the JD class of 2016 will, after this year of law school, move to an amazing and path-breaking new building, Dean Hall, which is right across the street from our current home. I want to point that out because it is evidence of the joint commitment of the university under the leadership of Chancellor Cantor and the Board of Trustees of the university and our own law school community, our alums, our friends, our faculty, and our staff who contributed significant financial resources in order to build this building. And that also includes untold hours that some members of our community have spent. I'd point out particularly Mark Malfitano, who's the chair of our board of advisors. This is a tremendously exciting thing, but it's impossible to do without a very strong commitment from communities, from individuals, and from leadership at the university level. And we are incredibly fortunate to have that. Right now in this chapel, there are so many individuals who are critical to the quality of the education that we're able to provide at our College of Law. And I'd like to ask all members of the faculty of the College of Law to please rise. The faculty of this college dedicate themselves to working with you, the students, as your academic leaders, as your teachers, and as your mentors. They are committed classroom teachers and scholars. Many of them are mentors to small groups of incoming students. This is an additional component of our great faculty-student connection. All of our faculty know that their work in every regard can make a tremendous positive difference in the lives of our students. And thank you for standing. Will the members of the staff of the College of Law please stand? Okay. We are truly fortunate to have such an able staff. Many of the incoming classes have had interaction with members of the staff prior to arriving on campus. I just want to note that good lawyers and good leaders know that no institution of any kind can thrive without the contributions, often unseen, of staff members who are invested in the mission of the institution. Our staff members are united in their commitment to the educational goals of the college and to working with you. I know they're respected by all members of our community, and I know that they will be respected by you and treated with courtesy when you engage with them and they engage with you. Thank you very much, members of the staff. Will the alumni of the college please stand? If you're a graduate of the College of Law, would you please stand? Yes, I think, Judge, that you do count as an alum of the college, so please do stand. Many of these alumni are here to meet with you tomorrow, incoming students. As graduates of your law school, it's a big deal. They can connect you with their experience and their suggestions for your approach to your legal education and work in the college. They return at our invitation, but they take the time and spend the effort to come here from very busy professional lives and also taking their personal time in order to give insights and to help you. Thank you very, very much for participating. Okay. Speaking to you, members of the JD class of 2016 and the LLM class of 2014 is an honor and a responsibility. We know that the world is in a constant state of disequilibrium and flux. Those of us who have the good fortune of an excellent legal education are trained to accept and even to relish that. Because it isn't about having a rule for every moment, but accepting the inevitability of change and becoming adept at approaching uncertainty and working through it. All of us at Syracuse are dedicated to this fact. Law is critical grounding for the future of our society and the wider world. Having a class of LLM students who have been educated outside of the United States in law brings something important to our campus and to our experience because we can learn from them and they can learn from us. Okay, so why are all these groups and individuals I have very briefly introduced you here, and why are we so aware of the importance of our roles and responsibilities? Our profession matters deeply today and more tomorrow. We know we cannot compromise on the standard of education that we provide for those who are motivated to engage in it with excitement, dedication, and respect, because we want to allow our graduates to lead through law. Members of the incoming classes who are joining us, I hope you are here because you thirst for the education that law school offers. Even if you aren't exactly sure, and probably none of you really are, of what that is, something within you brought you to this College of Law, about to do some incredible things, many of which are fundamentally transformative. At its most profound level, legal education is a reformation of patterns of thought and analysis. Students who engage fully in a legal education do not see the world as they once did, and they will never see it that way again. That is tremendous, it's advantageous, and it's certainly important. It can, however, create issues as those changes in attitude and perspective carry over into other aspects of your life. Please be aware of how your thought and analysis transformation comes to bear on friendships and relationships that matter, as well as in the daily interactions with clerks in stores and people on the street. Saying you are a law student when you disagree with someone, particularly a family member, isn't impressive, and it creates a climate of disrespect. So part of your adjustment to law school will be to adapt to doubt and uncertainty, the critical, the questioning, the rejection of the easy conclusion without full understanding of the basis upon which it rests. These are just a few of the changes that you will find transform you so profoundly. But you may not really be aware of them as those changes are happening, but they may be reflected in how you engage with others in the world. Families, I have said this before, get a safe word to get your law student to stop behaving like you think a lawyer behaves in their personal lives with you. And students, create an awareness of the importance to you of those who love and care for you. Accept their feelings of frustration or exclusion, perhaps, as you become a lawyer, and be responsive to it. In doing that, you are actually helping yourself with skills just as important to your success as the skills you will build in critical thinking and deep analysis. Related to your drive to get a legal education is recognizing whether you are driving or you are driven. Most motives are complex. As you enter a process of thinking and learning that will continue over your entire life, one in which uncertainty and doubt are actually hallmarks of understanding reality, start to work out figuring out what really is the most important motives for you. Work carefully to build the internal motivation for your presence and engagement here. It's a very old line, and it's a cliche, and it is obvious. But if you are motivated only by grades and measure yourself in comparison to others, you are going to experience deep disappointment and lose the most fundamental opportunities to learn. In a recent magazine article, Malcolm Gladwell published an essay book review about a biography of Albert Hirschman. He entitled the essay, "The Gift of Doubt: Albert Hirschman and the Power of Failure." The essay itself is quite fascinating as it summarizes Hirschman's thesis that failure, self-doubt, and anxiety are really the things that lead to the most creative and important work or accomplishments in societies or in particular projects. That it is fundamental to growth. We don't actually get pushed until we find ourselves with what seem to be intractable problems, failures, blocked paths, and crisis. Those are the things that are able to move us in a different and creative direction. All of you, incoming students, each of you is at the very top of the academic and educational achievement compared to almost any peer group you can be looking at. When you think about all the individuals out in this world, what an elite group you are. Your basic intelligence is in the very highest range, and you have, for the most part, excelled in every single academic undertaking in your lives. If all you have to lean on is how you measure up in comparison to others, you're going to struggle. Because this cliche is true. Not everyone gets an A. There are Bs, there are Cs, there are other grades too. If all that matters is how you see yourself in comparison to your classmates, you're going to find it really difficult to sustain yourself. Each of you stands in your own shoes, not in your classmates. Whatever the extent of your extrinsic motives, and you each have extrinsic motives, you wouldn't be human otherwise, each of you should have, to one extent or another, intrinsic motivation. Each of you has the capacity to grow in your thinking, in your approach, in the utilization of misunderstandings and mistakes you make. Each of you has that capacity, and you will have to work sometimes to make it accessible to you. If you believe you can change and improve, and you care about that from the inside, you will find this experience of legal education very satisfying in a peculiar way. If you think there is no real opportunity to change and improve your way of thinking and tackling problems, if you believe that you have a fixed capacity and it cannot really change, or that all that matters is how you stack up against the person next to you, this is going to be a tougher row to hoe and much less satisfying. None of us is all one thing or another, but we have the capacity to develop our own system of understanding and seeing that we can make changes and measure ourselves or motivate ourselves towards internal satisfaction that working through challenging material can provide. if we know that each challenge, difficulty, and strange set of circumstances can make important differences for us without regard to how any one of us compares to any other person. Most of you, probably all of you, are very self-critical and probably pretty good at criticizing other people as well. You may therefore dwell on what you think are disappointments and allow those to overshadow the very many good things, large and small, that come to each of us, even on very bad days. You have to develop the sense of balance in your motivation and also remind yourself every so often of the good things that are around you, and they always are. If you haven't gotten into this habit yet, I suggest you get into the habit of noting the good things, the things in a day for which you are grateful. Get started with that. Begin this evening. Take a piece of paper or a small notebook and write down 3 or 4 things for which you are grateful or made you feel good today. Do that at the end of the day and don't skip it because there's nothing. There is always something. You need to notice. They may be trivial, but they can matter. Scan your days for the good things and make it a habit. This demonstrably improves how you manage and cope and the perspective you acquire, and it can be fundamentally important to your emotional well-being. This isn't an original idea, but it has profound importance and effect. Okay? In this chapel right now, you're surrounded by classmates. Take a look around, if you haven't already, and look at the other members of the incoming classes. If the past is a predictor, most of these individuals are some of the good things in the world you are experiencing. Yes, they are classmates. Over time in life, they will be your friends and colleagues. Treat each other well. You have a lifetime of connection. The history of a college makes it absolutely evident. Try to assume also that people mean well, and mean well yourself. Your success in the most important sense will depend on that more than everything else. Your legal journey is one where you will be in a state of constant disequilibrium. You will be consistently challenged, and as you master one thing, you will see right before you something that builds upon what you mastered. It requires much more of you. You're entering a world of surprising challenges, constant challenges, where mastery morphs into greater challenge. There is no thing to learn and say, all done, because it's just constantly in motion. And it all happens at the same time. Once you get the exhilaration of that, and you recognize it is for a lifetime, you will live in that internal motivation that brings the deepest satisfaction. People who have been to more than one of these, and unfortunately for the faculty, that includes them, have heard this before. One of my children, I have 4 children, one of my children said to me when he was in high school, "Mom, I am jealous of you because your education is done." And I reminded him that for someone who hopes to be educated, education never ends. In no discipline, I think, is that truer than law. He's now a lawyer. He's now a lawyer, by the way. I want to ask the mentors the student mentors to please stand. They're usually up in the choir loft there, right? I want everyone to recognize these student mentors because they exemplify giving back to the school and being part of the best that our college represents. These students came back a week early. They've given up a lot to be here, at least a lot of vacation, probably a lot of other things as well. But they're here to guide and assist you, and I hope that you will accept their advice and ask them questions and really do that with good grace. And I want to thank the student mentors for coming back and for being such a bridge for the incoming students to our college. Well, it says next I'm supposed to introduce our next speaker, our real speaker. Melanie Gray. Melanie Gray, simply by her life, represents the best that I believe the profession has to offer as an exemplar, and it is a matter of great, great pride to say that she's a graduate of our College of Law. Melanie?
Thank you, and I hope everybody will stretch if you need to. You've been very patient, and I want to take a few minutes as well to share with you two basic areas that I'm going to cover. One is to try to put in context the legal education system that you're coming into, because it is at an amazing point in time with regard to how society is choosing to evaluate what it is doing and its effectiveness. And I think that if you spend a few minutes to make certain that you understand that you're not coming into this College of Law in a vacuum, that this College of Law isn't just one of many graduate programs you could have pursued, but that it is part of a public good that is being offered. And then I want to spend a few minutes just talking to you about what I've learned over too many years of how to make the most of your time here, because that really is what you owe to yourself. So I first want to, of course, thank Dean Artarian for inviting me to share my thoughts, and to have the chancellor, the faculty, law school administrators, board members, and other distinguished alumni of the College of Law to all welcome you tonight. We're here to celebrate the beginning of your legal education. And we're also here to challenge you individually and collectively, whether it be the Class of 14 LL program or the Class of 2016. We are challenging you to tonight, or I guess this afternoon, commit to your legal education, the professional developmental opportunities offered here, and to take advantage of everything the broader community has to offer to you. Law schools have been under incredible attack over the last several years. I don't know whether you've all read about it or as you did your research. Some of the criticisms are justified, many are not. In response, the American Bar Association, which is the body that sets the regulations and standards for law schools if they want to be accredited, empowered a task force to evaluate these criticisms and to come up with recommendations with regard to the future of legal education. The task force recently issued a working paper on the future of legal education, and it captures so well, at least in my opinion, the tensions inherent in providing a legal education. And as I said, I think it's very important, especially for law students, to understand this dynamic. So I'm going to quote the working paper a bit with regard to this tension. The tension is as follows. On the one hand, the training of lawyers is a public good. Society has a deep interest in the competence of lawyers, in their availability to serve society and clients, and in their values. This deep concern reflects the centrality of lawyers in the effective function of orderly society. Society also has a deep interest in the system that trains lawyers. This is because the system directly affects lawyers' competence, availability, and values. From this public good perspective, law schools may have obligations to deliver programs with certain characteristics or elements, irrespective of the preferences of those within the law school. Think about that. There is a societal good that influences what a good legal education entails, regardless of what you or any other class might think is in your best interest. But the task force goes on and says, but the training of lawyers is not only a public good. The training of lawyer is also a private good. Legal education provides those who pursue it with the skills, knowledge, and credentials that will enable them to earn a livelihood. For this reason, the training of lawyers is part of our market economy, and law schools are, or arguably should be, subject to market conditions and market forces in serving students and shaping programs. As you think about the tensions between the training of lawyers as a public good as opposed to a private good, contrast it with the American system of medical school, which is mostly seen as a public good. Medical education, because being perceived as a public good, is massively subsidized by federal and state governments. But there's little chance, at least anytime soon, that government will subsidize to the same degree a legal education. Consequently, the cost of providing a legal education falls primarily to students and the tuition they pay, the support, if any, from the broader university in which the law school sits, and to alumni who are asked to give back to their law schools so that others coming behind them may have the same benefit of a legal education that they had. Focusing on the university support, the task force noted that some universities are unwilling or unable to support their law schools as they attempt to make a transition to a new market-oriented way of conducting their affairs. I want to take a moment right now to contrast what may be happening in other universities to what is happening here at Syracuse University. I want each of you to know and to appreciate, as you heard somewhat from Dean Artarian already, that under Chancellor Cantor's leadership, the university has invested heavily, not only in bricks and mortar, as evidenced by the wonderful new building rising from across the street of the current law school, but in the faculty and in the programs and in the professional development opportunities that you are about to be exposed to. I want to take this moment right now to thank her publicly for her leadership, her ardent support. This is somewhat a zero-sum game within a university. To give and support one college may mean that another who believes it's just as worthy doesn't get. She stood her ground, showed leadership, and because of that, we have the College of Law we have today. And I know that each of you, if you see her across campus, you will take the chance to thank her personally as well, because you surely are one of the many beneficiaries of her leadership. The task force also suggested that many law schools have not focused on the value to their students of the degree they bestow. I'm here to tell each and every one of you that's not true of this law school. Building on the dedication and hard work of former deans, the day Dean Artarian took this job, she's been working nonstop to increase the value of the JD bestowed by the college. Among many things, she empowered Tomas Gonzalez, Senior Assistant Dean of Student Life, to create a nationally acclaimed Office of Student Life. Nationally recognized and awarded with regard to the services that you are receiving. Because you don't know any better, you may just take them for granted. Talk to your friends who may be at other law schools. I think you may hear something very different. He, along with his team, developed this week-long orientation program, which will better position you to start your legal education than any other orientation I'm aware of. Dean Artarian has raised the college's profile within the academy, and importantly, among the college's 9,000 plus alumni. Under her leadership and that of Alex Alepciante, Associate Dean of Development and Institutional Advancement, and her amazing team, Dean Artarian has inspired so many of us to give generously to the college. Not only in annual giving, it actually takes annual gifts to bridge the gap between tuition, university support, to keep the lights on, the programs, and we're here because we want you to have the benefits of those. But it's not just the annual support. Because of her inspired leadership of the college, we have also given generously to the Capella campaign that has allowed Deneen Hall to become a possibility, and want to recognize Bob Deneen and his family for their amazing support. I ask you to remember this when you're unhappy, and there will be days when you're unhappy. Sounds like a song. Because you have to recognize that it takes so many different parts to come together to deliver as seamlessly as I believe you will find the education you're about to provide. So when you want to complain about Dean Artarian not being around, or you know, what's she doing lately, remember, she doesn't have the liberty of sitting comfortably behind her desk. She's out on the road, raising the profile of the college and keeping its alumni connected and engaged. All of these efforts have strengthened the law school and the legal education you're about to receive. You should be proud that you're here and willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. And so despite the recent attacks on legal education, it is still considered, and I believe always will be, one of the most rigorous and influential educations available, because it changes the way you think about issues. It changes the way you think about solutions and problems and how to implement solutions. Legal training and education and the commitment to the rule of law is and always has been the foundational bedrock upon which our civil society rests. So we know that the issues are not becoming easier to solve, more difficult, and I echo what Dean Artarian said, that there isn't a more relevant time, despite everything you read, for you to be in law school, because you will become educated and you will become committed not to only your private gain, but the public good as well. You are embarking upon the beginning of your professional career today, not when you graduate 3 years from now, but today, in order to maximize your chances and opportunities that will flow from this investment of your time and talent and treasure. You need to fully immerse yourself in everything that the law school, the university, and the broader community has to offer over the next 3 years. These next 3 years will change how you think about the world, and regardless of what you do with your education, you cannot help but be a catalyst for private change, or for change, positive change, when you go out into your sphere of influence. So celebrate the hard task you're undertaking and know that if you take it day by day, you will make a difference in the world. Whether it be small, medium, big, it doesn't matter. It's every one of us making a difference at every opportunity we get. Here at the College of Law, as I'm sure you've heard many times all over, you will be learning a whole new way of thinking. And you will go out into the world as counselors, advocates, entrepreneurs, policymakers within the best legal system known to mankind. This is a heavy responsibility, but one that, if passionately embraced, will bring you more satisfaction than any paycheck ever will. So we're here tonight in the hopes that each of you will embrace the legal education and professional development now available to you so that you can go out and better the communities in which you live. And remember, it doesn't matter whether they're major metropolitan areas, small rural towns, whether it be here in the United States or abroad, whether you're going to be in private practice, the public sector, academia, or as an entrepreneur, regardless of what you decide to do with this education, you will be enriched beyond measure. So regardless of the world stage you decide to play on, it's critically important that you use your legal education to better the world, which I truly hope you will. So now that you know, again, certainly I recommend reading the task force. Go to the ABA website, download it, and think about it, because you're in the midst of it. Who best to kind of take a look, at least from some aspects of it, because I think that when there is a catalyst for change, what there may be right now, you could even have influence into how to make it better. So now let's talk about what can you do, and not changing the whole legal system of education. That may be a tall order. Let's take it a day at a time and just talk about at least some of the views that I've had and shared in prior years with regard to how to get the most out of your education and how to best prepare yourself for the problems and conflicts of society that you'll be asked to participate in creating these solutions. First, you have to commit to work hard. I know that goes without saying, but it's work hard and work hard without complaint. You're going to be learning a whole new vocabulary. Forget the way how to think like a lawyer. As with any profession, there's a vocabulary that goes along with it. And when it's like learning a foreign language, it's hard at even your age, let alone my age. But yet, if you master the vocabulary, you master the concepts in which they come up in your studies, that is the foundation from which it doesn't matter what new problem is presented to you, what new area of law you may have to look at to decide how to approach it. You will have the basis to do good. You will learn that there are rarely easy or clear-cut answers to the issues that you'll be presented with. Instead, there are a variety of choices, each with cascading consequences. Your ability to provide counsel, not just an answer to your clients, will be directly affected by how hard you work now. So make certain that you understand what you have signed on to. Don't begrudge it. It's amazing how quickly it goes. And within 3 years, you're going to be over in Deneen Hall, graduating, getting your diploma, and you're going to be saying, holy, I wished I had a little bit more time here. So basically know that this is an investment that you can conquer by virtue of the time and commitment that you need to give to it. Accept the importance of grades and strive to get the best ones that you can. I know, as Hannah said, you'll not all be at the top of the class, but that doesn't mean that you can't be at the top of your game at something that matters to you, whether it be moot court or mock trial or a journal or a clinic. Find something that you're passionate about and invest yourself in that and develop it to its fullest potential. Clearly, success comes when you follow those things that you care about deeply, as opposed to pursuing something for some other goal. There is such a wide array here within the college, extending through the community, the university, and then into the community, that you can take an interest that you have, and there is a legal connection, and you can become at the top of your game at that. And that's what's going to create the opportunities when you leave Syracuse University. For those to whom grades come easily, don't think that that means the practice of law will come easily. Successful lawyers are a combination of smarts, judgment, common sense, and personality. Learn how to grow and stretch every aspect of who you are and how you relate so that you can transition into the practice of law or into whatever endeavor you pursue with that broadest array of skills and not a narrow mode of thinking. And remember to give thanks. Thanks for everything that's coalesced thus far in your life that allows you to be here. I mean, as Hannah said, it's pretty amazing. You are an amazingly elite and tiny percentage of the overall population here in the United States. Celebrate that. Give thanks. And I hope that you give thanks to those people in your life who have made a difference so far. And it's always a combination, never one category, whether it be parents, teachers, friends, aunts, uncles, your best friend's parents. Remember, they helped get you here, and stay in touch with many of the common sense things that Hannah shared so that you remain grounded in understanding what your life journey is. And I hope that you each find someone here at the College of Law who will inspire you to pursue your passion and strive for excellence in whatever you do. And if you do, make certain that you commit, that you will give it forward to someone else when you have the opportunity. The rewards of a legal education do not come from practicing law. As I noted before, lawyers affect more social change than those in any other career or profession because we are leaders. We get involved. We problem solve. What I am most proud of in my career is not the cases of the clients I've represented. It's my pro bono work, my other volunteer efforts, and especially the honor serving on the advisory board of the college and as a trustee to this great university. So when you meet tomorrow with the alumni who have come back to campus to give of their time and wisdom and share their insights with you, you will witness firsthand their accomplishments and the pride they take in the College of Law. May you take that very same amount of pride and honor it and treat it with the respect it deserves. This is your first opportunity to start networking. Embrace it. Take advantage of it, speak up, ask questions, and actively listen. How important is active listening in law and in life? Critical and often overlooked. Know that we are here because we want to help start your legal career on the right track. And we hope that this also plants the seed in you that with any institution, it's only as strong as those who have benefited from it give back to it. The College of Law is blessed to have so many alumni who care about it, who give back to it generously, and who care about you. And I pray that you will have the same spirit when you enter the profession and are in a position to look back with regard to how you got to where you are. You are embarking upon a lifelong association with the college, and you will get out of it what you put into it. I commend to each of you that you pursue your legal education as an end to itself. The rewards that will come from it justify every dollar and day you will invest in it. And I'm reminded of one of my favorite songs, and I think it fits the bill with regard to how to balance all the competing forces that you'll be subjected to within the next week, the next year, and the next 3 years. You might not always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you'll get what you need. So try, work, and you will get the legal education that will prepare you for a rewarding career. Good luck, have fun, and go out there and make yourselves proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. One of the things that we do at this law school that I don't think is done at many law schools, or certainly wasn't done before we started doing it here, is that we make sure that each member of the classes who are entering the school have a moment where their name is called out and they're greeted by members of our community. So as we're doing, let's get started doing that so that the individuals who have the responsibility of greeting can get into place. I want to invite Associate Dean Deborah Kahn and University Professor David Dreesen, who is a university professor, but he originally came from us, so we're happy to have him associated with us. And I'd like to ask Dean Gonzalez and Director of Admissions Nikki Laubenstein. And I would like to have, please make sure that our wonderful student bar representatives come up. SBA President Josh Keefe, Student Bar Association Representative Chris Elliott. So what will happen is this. You will be assisted in moving forward in an appropriate fashion, which is sometimes challenging, by two of our distinguished faculty members, Professor Terry Turnipseed and Professor and Associate Dean Aviva Abramovsky, who are dressed in orange, so that you can distinguish them from everybody else. And what will happen is you'll come up, you'll give your name card to either Ms. Laubenstein or Mr. Gonzalez. Your name will be called, you'll get to shake a hand, and then move forward to our student representatives who are going to give you a College of Law pin. So, are we up to the challenge? I say this because every year, there are just sometimes little quirks of things that happen, but I hope I've gotten it, yeah, right. Hope I've gotten it down clearly enough, and we'll begin by introducing to all of us the members of our LLM class of 2014. Yeah, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay, 2 lines. Is that what's going on here? Yeah, we need to bring people up so they go through in 2 lines. Is that correct? Dean, they don't have their cards. Well, welcome, every single one of you. It's great to have you here. It's terrific. I'm not sure why they don't have cards, but you know.
Say the name though. Do the best you can.
Euless Reed.
Okay, let's go go to Dean Gonzalez because he's good at it. He's a former
William
opera singer.
Aceta. Abdurrahman Kunish. Iñaki Ragaito. Jason Joe. Urasneet Cole. Christina Joe. Ilyada Kaisi.
Before we get going with the JD class, first of all, I want to give Dean Gonzalez a round of applause. He is a former opera singer. So we count on him to have a facility with names. Now, what I would like to ask is that people form 2 lines, because one will be coming to Dean Gonzalez, one will come into Ms. Laubenstein, so we can go through. The other thing is, if we can wait and hold the applause until everybody goes through, and then we can give them a big round, okay? Thank you all.
Jordan Meeks.
Corey Pronman.
Josh O'Neill.
Tony Gwinner.
Philip Ross.
Brian Deaver.
Dustin Osborne.
Max Bartles.
Ronald Lee.
Cody Carbone.
Megan Tillman.
Kyle Herda.
Elizabeth Gaffney.
Jean Michelle Mariani.
Ariana Doty.
Delisa Morris.
Gabriella Girona.
John F. Boyd.
Heather DeLaurie.
Rachel Bangzer.
Eric Carlson.
Alexander Amadi.
Jordan Sarah.
Alyssa Warpus.
Michelle Condi.
John Coniglio.
Burke E. Kraus.
Matthew DeBlassie.
Lacey Gem.
David Michael Hahn.
Kate Vandendoler.
Stacy Morris.
Tara Golson.
Karen Bryson.
Peter Levrant.
Amneet Mandy.
Caitlin Hall.
Jessica Yanette.
Stephanie Nichols.
Anne Rakochi.
Victoria Ratcliffe.
Molly White.
Benjamin Williams.
Kevin B. Smith.
Madeline Moore.
Michael Roberts.
Amanda Ball.
Kyle Sutliff.
Rachel Weber.
Sean Janis.
Camille Daly.
Corey Schoonmaker.
Pauline Kazarian.
Natalie Marin.
Sarah McCreary.
Katie Bowmans.
Edwin Maldonado.
Amanda Haas.
Zachary Greenberg.
Brittany Dorer.
Kate Shemelowick.
Matthew J. Masacchio.
Maximilian Tresmond.
Anumi Huang.
Shannon Robin.
Amy Doan.
Selby Jason.
Brooke Kester.
Megan Joyce.
Courtney Schott.
Alexandra Martinez.
Sid Ball.
Tyler Summers.
Riley Christian.
Matthew Fox.
Farzad Rashidi.
Alec Schwartz.
Moses K. Ayala.
Ashley Monette.
Kudiju Peak.
Luzia Urizar.
Ana Maria Castillo.
Carolyn Corcus.
Victoria Cunningham.
Christina Farrell.
Lindsay Kelly.
Crystal Garcia.
Danielle Blackaby.
Keith Pedrani.
Amanda L. Cummings.
Nicholas Vona.
Helen Homnholt.
Hillary Hall.
Tesla Goodrich.
Martin Wolfson.
Julie Hughes.
Daniel Van Sant.
Kristen Warner.
Colin Lynch.
Candace Geller.
Joseph Amelia.
Shannon Kane.
Joseph Ingrayo.
Bansri Patel.
Carly Halpin.
Catherine Miller.
Aaron Silver.
Sarah Ahmed.
Andrew D. Pasquale.
Justin Lee.
David Huber.
William Graves.
Ashley Goodwin.
Maria Lisinski.
Peter Kwan.
Zachary Johnson.
Claxon Wilson.
Anthony Burns.
Zachary Lewis.
Keegan Coughlin.
Stephen Rick.
Michael Bryant.
Jerry Giannakis.
Matt Nashban.
Ryan Kinney Miller.
Zach Burnham.
Francis Lee.
Matthew Jones.
Daniel Taroli.
Jessica Easterly.
Jonathan Samir.
Nicholas Summers.
John Harutunian.
Dennis William Polio.
Dana Nevins.
Sammy Harmouche.
Jeanette Luna.
Edward Monkman.
David Smallwood.
Joseph Huckleberry.
Alex Kirtland.
Ann Kenna.
John Jeha.
Sarah Axu.
Alexander Ferguson.
Jamie Glashow.
Aria Awakuhi.
Jessica Grimm.
Nolan Harrington.
Alexandra Pietropalo.
Thomas Romano.
Ashley Weathers.
Daniel Green.
Jillian Buticali.
Jeffrey Dahlgren.
Catherine Vestner.
Matthew Crouch.
Joshua Goldstein.
Michael Boisvert.
Christopher Davila.
Heather Parker.
Kyle Lundeen.
Lauren Ippolito.
Jake Jones.
Jesse Feitel.
Ronald Valley.
Kevin Belby.
Ashley Repp.
Zara Vakil.
Mrudula Thermasali.
Alejandra Venezuela.
Brian Gallagher.
Jordan Kelly.
Nathaniel Alvarado.
Michael Panbianco.
Anirudal Kinhal.
CJ Escara.
E. Timothy O'Brien.
Christopher Kim.
Thomas Anderson.
Michael DiMatteo.
Don Clubusista.
Maria Gage.
Arnold Jamin Hong.
Janshur Rasha.
Hojin Choi.
Megan Liptak.
Rudy Saul.
Thank you. Thank you to our incoming class, and thank you to our faculty and staff and our great student representatives for greeting them. I'm going to ask now Chris Day, who's the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and also a Professor of Law, to begin the oath. This is again something that we began here. I think a lot of other schools have picked up on it, but Dean Day.
Thank you, Dean Arterian. Well, welcome and congratulations to each of you, both Masters of Law students from the class of 2014 and the Juris Doctorate class of 2016. By your earnestness of purpose, your diligence, and your talent, you have earned the privilege of being a member of our newly admitted class. Today, you officially commence your professional education. In recognition of the seriousness of this, I will now ask you to stand and join in the oath of professional education. Please refer to your program for the words as we recite the oath together. As I commence my studies at Syracuse University College of Law, I undertake to hold myself to a rigorous standard of personal integrity and to adhere to it faithfully, never to forget, even for an instant, that I am embarking on a professional journey in which I will be a trusted member of the Syracuse University community. I shall strive to broaden my knowledge of the law and of other disciplines with which the law intersects in these modern times. I shall cultivate creativity and an open mind and be receptive to the new ideas while attentive to the principles of our legal heritage. I shall be courteous to all, be the classmates, faculty, administrators, strangers, or adversaries, and treat all with unfailing tolerance and respect. I shall respect and uphold the honor code of the Syracuse University College of Law, the ethical rules and standards of the legal profession, the dignity of our judicial system, and the principles of the United States Constitution. Thank you. You may be seated. Before Dean Arterian closes our convention proceedings tonight, I wish to instruct everyone on the way in which we're going to exit the chapel. The official party on the stage, followed by the College of Law administrators, faculty, and alumni, will recess from the Convocation using the front stairways. After the official party has processed, members of the Juris Doctorate class of 2016 will process out of the chapel and have the Convocation photo taken. Members of the class of 2014 will be photographed after the Juris Doctor class of 2016. So the main steps right outside the chapel will be where the photos are going to be taken. We're asking you to move quickly through the process so that we can begin to celebrate your entrance into the study of law with your family, friends, faculty, and the staff of the College of Law on the Quad. Thank you.
Okay, it's now my, I'm sure, great relief to you to close the program. I want to make two comments. I want to first note something, and that is Chancellor Cantor, she is a professor as well, is here in great pain. She suffered true? Yes, it's true. But I just want to. What? No, no. She was in pain before she got here. We may have added to it, but no. But mainly because it's a demonstration of her dedication, I think, to this university and to this college that she came, and so. I don't know that I'm going to get a lot of other opportunities to say. I mean, just thank you, Chancellor Cantor. With respect to the incoming classes, I just want you to think about something. Your names were read or called or approximated for some of you going through here. But one thing to remember, and it really is worth remembering, the next time you're in that setting where you will hear your name called and all of your classmates called, will be the day you commence from the college. So this is a momentous occasion and one that won't be repeated until you get your degree from the College of Law, okay? So congratulations to you all, thank you all. I hope you will recess out as the Associate Dean directed, and what? No? Do they know who those people are? Okay, so people are coming to the center aisles now, and incoming students, these are the individuals you are wise to follow, because they will make sure that you get the group picture taken quickly, and also it's really a fun picture to have, I have to say. So, okay, with that, thank you all, and the convocation is closed.